Welcome to We Seek First podcast, where we talk about living life as a Christian and everything in between. We are your hosts, Takara,
Katrina,
Latresa, and LaQuinta.
Join us every week for a fresh episode. But today we have an exciting episode for you, so sit back, relax, and let's talk.
welcome back to another episode of We Seek First. We're all doing good today. I hope everyone out there is doing great. On this episode, we're going to continue our conversation that we had last week from the article called The Golden Rule in Christian Dating.
Yeah.
Again, we want to say that this article was written by Marshall Segal,
Mm-hmm.
and you can find this article on their website, desiringgod.org.
Yes.
So last week we kind of just went over the first part of the article. So he started off just kind of asking about, or he was talking about advice that you get from non-Christians or Christians, whoever, people in your life. And we kind of discussed that. But then when he goes into the article, the first thing that he talks about is the first rule in dating. This is very important. I know, I feel like personally, if you are not a Christian, you may not agree with this article.
Right.
I'll have to start with that.
Most definitely.
So, but his first rule, he says, the first rule in dating is you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength, which is from Mark 12:30. So he says you will not truly love anyone else if you do not love God first and most. And no one will truly love you if they do not love God more than they love you.
That's so true.
Y'all,
That's deep.
it is very deep.
And that's hard to do.
Yeah. Man, I mean,
But I think it is hard to do, but I think with you loving Christ, it would be impossible for you to be like, oh, I love you and treat you like the world would treat you as far as relationships go.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of like it's such a mirror of how relationships of any kind, friendships, family, romantic relationships, how you are with God. It's such a mirror of how your other relationships should be as well, because he tells you how to treat other people. And if you're saying that this is someone I want to be romantic with, you're going to treat them just like Christ is saying. Because if you're a Christian, you want to say marriage. Well, Christ gave his life for the church, and that's what he says a husband is supposed to do.
I was just about to say that. This reminds me of when I can't remember exactly where it is, but he talks about how a man is supposed to love his wife just as Christ loved the church and gave himself for them. So it's like, if a man is not doing this, loving God with all his heart, mind, and soul, how is he going to love you like Christ loved the church?
Right.
Yeah.
And
he can't.
It's funny because I know last week I was talking about advice that my dad gave me, and this is something else that he told me, and he was telling me, like, you need a man that loves God first.
Right.
And he said the same thing that this guy was saying, like, if he does not truly love God, how is he going to know how to love you?
Yes.
And I know like with our parents, when they first got married, they weren't, I guess you could.
They went to church.
They went to
That was
church,
about as far as
but
it went.
They weren't actively living. Now they had morals and they were taught, but they weren't actively seeking God like that.
Like, it wasn't a priority.
Right.
Because it's like if they miss Sunday church, it's like, oh, I feel bad because I didn't go because that's what I do. This is what we do. We grow up, we get up on Sundays and we go to church. Not because they're missing out on fellowship and learning about God and being in his presence. They didn't care about all that.
Right. They were just,
it was tradition.
Yeah, they were just living life. And he said the difference, he was like, it was just a huge difference when they finally did, he started following Christ. He was like, that is when he really, truly learned to love my mom. That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I feel like, if you just look at it, it ain't that important, but it actually is.
You know what I say? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. because I'm a motor mouth. I talk. Okay, the first thing that comes to my mind when you talk about loving God 1st, and then you'll be able to love a partner. When I look at the world and past relationships and relationships that I've seen of other people, because nowadays it's okay if you cheat, it's okay, we're gonna work on it. Why is this person cheating in his marriage? And you're like, well, he doesn't love me. Well, of course he can't love you, because he doesn't. What else is going to show him what love is? And it can't just be, oh, my parents were in love, and
right.
it has to be something deeper that keeps you accountable. And God tells him, hey man, would you treat yourself like this? Do you love yourself like this? So how can you love if you don't even treat your own self like this, and you're supposed to be one with this woman? Then why would you cheat on her or disrespect her or do anything against her? It's like God's word keeps you in line. And if you're not in love with him, which ultimately means following him, obeying his every word, how can you be of any good to someone else? You can barely keep yourself afloat.
Yeah, and I always say never require from somebody else what you can't do or what you're not doing.
Girl, that's good.
And that was another thing that Daddy told me too.
That's so good.
It's like, okay, you want a man that love God with all his heart, mind, and soul, but
what about
you love God,
right?
Like how you not gonna be any good to this good man?
You be unequally yoked.
And it's like you'll be the one that might make him fall or whatever. Like if you want that in a man, then you have to be doing it too.
Exactly. That is so true.
Now I do in my prayers. I be like, Lord, I really want him to love you more than he could ever love me. And it's like, I'm trying to get that, Lord. I'm trying, really, for real. I'm trying. So maybe I should be praying, Lord, I want someone who that is his very desire as well. Because when I think about it, I kind of feel bad. And it's like, no, Lord, no, for real, that's what I want. But I'm like, it's so hard to do it myself.
And really, when you think about it, we say it's hard, but it's kind of not that hard. Because I think when you read it, it's pretty much saying, if your wife or the woman who you have is starting to come before me, or she's starting to do things that is keeping you away from me, you say, hey, woman, sorry, I'll lose you just to have God.
You have to actually live that.
Kind of like
that. I think you were talking about a girl on the previous episode. She was talking to this guy, and they messed up, and they messed around, and she was like, you know what?
She
said
was willing to
let him
go.
go. Exactly.
Because she didn't want to continue sinning against God.
Exactly. That's putting God first. You have to. And I think a lot of people, they don't want to do that. Including me, because I'm working on that.
I
think that
it's a struggle
hard.
sometimes.
And especially for women, I think that it would be easier for me to put God first over a husband, a boyfriend, someone that I'm with. But when I think about, let's just say, my child, of course I want to put God before my child. But it's like, in every sense, when you think of the worst case scenarios, it's like, oh no. I mean, Lord, I want to choose you, but your heart, everything in you is like, but this is you, this is your child. That's when the rubber really meets the road for me. With a husband or something, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's gonna be God.
Girl, please.
I know you ain't even never been married. What you talking about?
Haven't, but I mean, I feel like that. Well, I don't think that I've ever been that invested and in love.
Saying. Yeah.
So it's like I don't know.
You don't really know.
I know
I don't know what I don't know.
You know, some girls, like when they're dating this guy and he want to sleep with her.
Yeah.
And sometimes she's so afraid that he'll leave her that she'll just go ahead and do it. That's a person who is not keeping God first.
Yes.
That's what I'm not.
And I'm telling you, when I'm not saying that this happened to me, but I'm saying when people see that they could lose this person and they might be thinking like, oh, ain't nobody else, and he's so fine and he gonna be with this other woman,
and they feel like
he's not for you, then
will fix it. They're like, it's an easy fix.
He probably won't stay anyway. But
he's not. And that kind of person wouldn't be for me anyway.
Yeah.
From the jump, he gonna know.
Right.
Well, he wouldn't be
You
a Christian.
ain't getting
I was about to
none.
say that
But
don't
that's what
sound
I'm
like
saying.
one.
Yeah.
It's harder to say it
Yeah.
than when you're in the situation. Because when you're looking at this fine man and you've been waiting for years and you finally got this fine
Girl, you better
man,
go on somewhere.
and he's saying, look, I'm not that type of person. I like to, I don't want to wait till marriage. And if we can't do nothing, I'm going to have to go.
Well, he gonna have to go.
Yeah, I'm just
Bye.
Here's
Bye.
the door.
What if you no, I know what the right thing to do. That's not it. But I'm just saying
Yeah.
for a lot of people it's not that easy.
I
'cause
agree.
I know.
What if you have feelings for this
Yeah.
man and he like really about to go?
I just
Yeah.
said he gonna already know.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, look, do you know how many women who tell a man we
I
gonna
know.
wait till marriage,
I
and then
know.
after a month or two they ain't wait till marriage.
And two,
They may not believe
I
you the
know.
first
I
time.
know.
but
well,
I
he
do
gonna believe it.
Yeah,
He
but
gonna believe
I
it.
hope so.
I do
will.
believe that.
Lord,
it
don't bring
depends-
that man in my life.
I think it depends on the guy. Like, you can't pick a trash dude and expect
Exactly.
him-
But all of them don't look
Yeah.
like trash when you get them.
And
This-
I don't.
That's true.
Okay, like that's not actually a. I wouldn't call that a trash dude.
That is trash. You know
no,
why?
no.
I
Wait.
wouldn't look at him as trash.
He,
No,
is-
I
he
wouldn't-
wants something. He want me to go against God for him who
No.
may or may not.
I didn't
believe.
say
yeah.
right.
Trash.
The way that you said it, I guess that would.
No, but that happens to people.
I know, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like a normal guy.
Oh,
who
you
is
mean like
not a Christian?
he
that's
just
just
wants
what
what
they
his body wants.
Right. That's just
Mhm.
what they
Okay,
do.
I understand
Well, that's-
that. Well, we
That's
unequally
like
yoked.
that's normal for the world, but
That's
for
what I'm saying.
Christians,
Yeah.
it
No,
Yeah.
but
shouldn't be that
even
way.
for a Christian, now he wouldn't be doing that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He,
If he a
bet,
real
he ain't no
Christian.
Christian,
But
and he ain't for
even
me.
Christians, men, I mean, that's just God put them
Right.
in.
Well,
it.
that's their
I think
nature.
that's
And
what I'm-
there may be
that's
some
what I'm trying to
instances
say.
where you together, he might get a little weak.
Yeah.
It might
Right.
go a
But
little
that,
too
that's
far.
anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I wouldn't call him
a
trash.
He
Right.
just got a little weak.
Yeah.
Because you know
Yeah.
you,
But you know
might
what?
be fine to him. And
Yeah.
he just, you know.
What you mean? Might be.
I'm
Silly.
just saying. You
No,
know.
that's what I'm trying to say. Like everybody, just because he wants to have sex does not mean he is trash.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you know,
No, I'm
but-
talking about these worldly guys who claim that
Give
they're
you an
Christians
ultimatum.
just to
Yeah.
get you, and then they're
Oh,
like,
he
Let's
ain't
do
gonna
this,
make
or
it.
we breaking up. Well, I'm gonna leave
it's like,
you.
And I'm
okay.
I'm not a teenager.
Yeah,
I'm a grown
Yeah.
woman.
that
Them
little-
does sound.
I think
tactics.
that works on grown women too.
I think it
well,
does.
you know, well, he just gonna have to get to stepping.
'Cause
I
this-
know how to
this
be
what
single.
I think it is.
Trust me.
Girl,
Trust me.
I got a PhD,
Okay.
a bachelor.
Yeah.
I got a what's the next
Girl,
one?
doctorate on
Look, I'm a professor at the University of Bensingle.
But you have to think like all this time and you finally get a man you love, like you just having such a good time.
Yeah.
And some women, they may not even have the self-esteem like that they could even get anybody that's as
Yeah.
good as him.
I feel
And-
like
and
that's
it'll-
the woman that don't need to be with nobody.
that
be
that
be by
sounds
yourself.
like they're insecure.
So thank
Well,
you.
there may be some
Yeah.
like that feel like they may not be as pretty and they finally got this
Mhm.
man and
Oh well, baby, you need to be by
I wouldn't even
yourself.
go that far. They just may be like us. Like you've been waiting a long
Yeah.
time, and it's like, oh, I finally
Well,
met
yeah,
this
some-
guy,
and
it's
he
gonna
may
probably
be a
gonna
really
be
nice
yeah.
guy,
He
but
may
he
be a
want
nice.
that.
But you know what?
See, we can't be going against. I can't spit in God's face
No.
for
Yeah.
a man.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, I cry tears for I don't know how
oh,
long.
I would be sad.
But it's like I would be like, how can I go and do this after I done prayed and I
Yeah.
done came back to you after the mess I made out of my life,
Yeah.
and then you finally like, she ready, here you go.
I hope he don't bring
Well,
that
I-
kind of
but you
test
know
to
what?
me.
I
I don't
guess
want
what?
that test. Get at the
I think
truth.
that God
Excuse me. I'm just playing.
Wow.
I think that God
Speaking
is
that on
so
me.
good that if you are willing to choose him over that guy and that guy take off and you are like, look, yeah, I just want you, God, or whatever, he will bring you another man better than the one
And
you
how
had.
long
But
that's gonna take in
even if he
between.
don't,
I was just
you
about to
still
say.
need
Yeah.
to hold
I
the
was
faith
just
and
about to
keep.
But
say.
that
keep
first
What if
guy
he de-
may have
Mhm.
been your test.
I agree. That would definitely be a test. But what if he does not
Yeah.
bring?
And it's okay. Like
you saying that out your mouth.
Because that
No,
ain't promised to everybody.
I know, but I'm just saying you have to, like the article says, he have to be number
Right.
one. That's
He
an
do.
example
I
of him
agree.
being number one.
I
He
agree,
do.
but just because, he may bring that test to you,
And
that
you-
doesn't mean
and you
that
quote unquote pass.
he's still good, but that doesn't mean
Yeah.
that he's gonna
Yeah,
give
I'm not
you
saying
somebody
it's guaranteed, but
Yeah.
you could have maybe failed and chose this
Yeah.
wrong guy. He
Yeah.
break your heart.
That would be a
and all
mistake,
that.
yeah.
When he had something better for you, you
Yeah.
just had to get through this test.
Ooh, Lord.
You know.
But you know what? I still say
Mm.
in the journey, even though he may bring a test, I still say from the very jump, if my eyes are like, Lord, it's just you. If you say no, I say no. If you say yes, I say yes. And if I don't hear from you, I'm not moving an inch.
Yeah.
If it's like that, it's kind of like, how far can you really go with this guy to build feelings when you're like, I ain't heard from God, so I really can't really do nothing with you, homie.
Well, yeah, but you
Well,
gonna go out with him. You gonna talk
But-
to him.
but
you
to
see,
me-
Yeah.
because seeing through
Mhm.
your eyes, you don't know his heart.
Right.
You don't
Which
know
is
what he
true.
do when you're not
Yeah.
around.
Which is
And
true.
you just getting to know him. But in the process,
Mhm.
them feelings gonna start seeping in.
Yep.
But for me, this is just me. I can only go so far. And it's kind of like I'll get to a point to where it's like, am I all in or am I all out? There is no in between. I'm kind of in, I'm kind of out. I always get to a
I
point to
don't
where
know,
it's
though.
like, am I all in? Am I going to allow myself to feel things for this because I can like a person. I can be like, oh, he's a real nice guy, but love, baby, I'm like,
think-
hold on.
I think people say that, but I think you have no control over your heart. That's my opinion. I think nobody wakes up and say, okay, I'm going to start loving him today. No, you just find yourself loving him.
No.
You
I
I don't
wouldn't
think-
say
I think
love.
you
That's
have a
more
little
like
control.
lust and feelings. That's what I mean.
No,
at
what I'm
first.
saying-
Infatuation.
Yeah, infatuation.
What
That's
I'm
not-
saying, when you're dating somebody, you don't choose how you feel per se.
I think I do.
Like, you can't say, okay, I'm
You
going to
can be guarded.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, when it's like the feelings come, you just wake up
That's
and it's
because
like
you're
the feelings are
open.
there.
You're open to
But
it.
you don't say, okay, next week I'm not gonna love him until 6 months in.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you
I
know
know.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you're
What I'm-
right.
No,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is when you're open to it, those feelings will come in however they will, whenever they will.
If
But when you are not open
Yeah.
and it's
you
like,
can have a wall up.
this is what it is, that person can only go so far. And they'll be like, look, I mean, I don't know what else I got to do to show you or whatever. And it's like,
you can
this
have
is
a
as
wall
far
up.
as I'm going, and I
Well-
will not allow myself to go any further than this.
I guess it depends on
The
your
person?
actions while you're dating. Like, you ain't gonna tell me you spent all this time with him, you talking on the phone, but you saying I'm not gonna
Okay,
have no
that's
feelings.
a person that is open. If you are
So
not
what is
open,
guarded to you when you dating somebody? Because I wouldn't fool with no man who talking about it. Oh, I'm guarded. I'm only gonna do.
who
No,
you know
they
what I'm
don't
saying?
say
Who
they're
said
guarded.
they're
Well, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
this is
nobody
what-
What does guarded look like when you are dating a man that you don't want to have feelings for yet?
Okay, if I'm taking it really, really slow, we not gonna see each other a whole lot. He may call me and I may not even pick up.
Oh.
Yeah, but you might be running a man off.
And it's like, no, but it's like, he'll know I am interested. But this is as far as I am going. Now, you can
Yeah,
either
you gonna run
stay.
somebody off.
You can either
Well, no,
stay,
I think
or
you need
can-
to-
What if it was flipped?
I need
Would you accept
you
that?
need to
I have
define
been
that.
there
That sounds
before.
more like friends. Like you need to be friends first, and then
Well, I've
Like it-
always been a friend's first
Mhm.
type, but it's like, I'm sorry, I don't.
I wouldn't fool with a man who won't pick up the phone only some.
Right,
To
that-
me,
that's
it's like,
not-
oh, you probably got 50. I'm not
Right.
interested no more.
yeah.
Okay,
Like
but
if you are dating somebody, you have to open up some.
Yo,
like,
no, you
can't
do.
just-
okay,
do.
so we're not talking about we're talking about dating as in we finna date so that the end game is marriage. We in this thing. Not just,
Casual,
this is just
having
somebody
fun.
who, well, not even just having fun,
Well-
but like, okay, this is just somebody we can be friends. We may go out every now and then, but it's not, we're just kind of getting to know each other. Do I really want to go further with this? I don't know. to me, that's where I would be until I know for sure.
But you won't know for sure until you open up and really like spend time with them, get to know them.
To know them.
You really dating. You kind of putting your heart in jeopardy, to be honest.
Oh well, Cara, that gonna be dating right
because you're gonna run off a lot of people by kind of ignoring them and only halfway interested.
They would know you if you still there and you're still willing to be like, let me still chase after her. Okay, then I know. Oh, okay, no, he really want me because I'm really giving no effort.
But even if he really wants you, 3-4 months down the road, you could get feelings, and then he like, hey, I want some. You know what I'm saying?
Which is true. But
sometimes the bad comes out
later
down the road after the feelings done already happened.
I get it,
That's
but
hard.
I mean, if you are continually in prayer, I just don't feel like God is gonna just be like, girl, you on your own. Figure it out.
He's never gonna say you're on your own.
But I think even with you being a Christian, your heart could get broke. You can't say, "Oh, God ain't gonna let my heart get broke."
Oh no, I understand that. But see,
that's
for
just
me,
part of life.
For me, I don't mind a broken heart now, as opposed to you have time and you have experiences and memories. You're building all of this thing and then it's like it just falls apart.
Oh yeah.
That's where I say I start off slowly, and it's like I am guarded, and it's like let me be careful with how I navigate this. Because I don't want to build too much in case it does fall apart.
The way life is, it's like you could have the best guy, you married or whatever, and 20 years into the marriage, he could cheat on you. You know what I'm saying?
But that's because a marriage. That's a little different.
You can't control the actions of the other person. You can be a good Christian all you want, but your heart can still end up getting
What
broke.
does the article say?
He kind of touched on what you said.
Mm-hmm.
He said, if our soul is not already saved through faith, if our mind is distracted and focused on other lesser things, if our best strength is being spent on things of this world, jobs, sports, shopping, entertainment, relationships, and not on God, we simply will not date well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel that thing. I know exactly what he's talking about.
And he says, seek him first, and dating will be added according to his perfect plan and timing. I totally agree with that.
I do too.
Man.
And I think that's why it hasn't happened for us yet.
Yeah.
Because it's not time.
Mm-hmm. And I think that was last week. I was like, man, what do I need? Is it something I need to be doing? Like, what do I don't know. I guess that's my answer. Thanks.
I mean, there's always something you could be working on. You know. But I don't know. I think dating and stuff like that, it's something that is hard because it's something that you want. It's something inside of you. You want this and you can't control it. You can't get rid of it. You can't run away from it. It's something inside of you that chases in it. It wants this. And so when you really study it and you think about all what the good that comes with it, as well as the bad, where your trust should be and how you should navigate it, it's a little scary because you do have to be out. It's like you're on a tightrope with no protection underneath you. And you're like, all I have to do is just trust in God. But it's like, what if he brings a certain situation and he not saying nothing? He like, I done prepared you.
Did you trust?
You gotta trust him. I know that. But it's kind of like, and have you ever been where it's like, you know what to do? You're prepared for it. You are equipped. And then all of a sudden something happens and you're doing it, but it's like you start to kind of waver like, am I doing this right? Lord, like am I doing it right? And he ain't saying nothing. Because he's like, you know what to do. Mm-hmm. I don't have to, you know what I mean? Am I making sense?
Mm-hmm. I think, though, we need to realize that just because you follow God does not mean that your life is going to be perfect.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's some good people that I know, they just had a rough life.
Yeah.
And from what I could see, they was following God.
Yeah.
But like, is it Job? The man is born but of a few days and full, his life is full of trouble.
Yeah.
It's like you can be following God and just, but you live in a world where stuff can go wrong.
Yeah.
You can meet up with the wrong people. It don't mean that God is the flaw.
Yeah.
It's just that's life.
Yeah.
You know, you can't expect him because you're following him that everything. Oh, I'm following God. He gonna pick my husband. He gonna make everything straight.
Like he a
no,
concierge service.
that's
But I
not
think
how it goes.
I think that in that area of my life, it is guarded. I'm telling y'all.
Yeah.
It's something about that part of my life. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't met up with no, bad dude or whatever. I haven't experienced that. So, I mean, I feel like he just helped me out in that area. So I'm just going to trust him in that area and let him,
he is
do
able.
that. Because so far, I mean, I haven't, what y'all talking about, I haven't been through that. So I ain't worried about it.
And he is able to give you a really good guy or whatever, but
That's true.
You're not guaranteed is what I'm saying.
Right. I agree.
You can't control his walk. He may come into it a good guy and then choose to turn away from God on his own.
True.
Nothing that anybody did, it was his choice. So I think life is just a risk. Anything
Of
that you
course.
do, everything
Life
is just
is
a
rough.
risk.
Yeah.
I hate that, but I mean, it is what it is.
Your perfection is when you leave this world and you go to heaven.
Right.
That's where it's perfect at. You're not going to get perfection here.
No.
Like, that's not how it goes.
Yeah.
No, but like when he was talking about dating well, I feel that thing because when I think about the person that I am today as opposed to who I used to be when I was in my early 20s, I dated so stupidly.
Oh,
because
yeah, girl.
in my head, it's like now when I look back at that person, I'm chasing after a dream, something that is not reality. It's not real. It was manufactured in Hollywood. And I thought, this is what love is. This is what a relationship looks like. I mean, my parents didn't even mirror any of that. But I just somehow thought, if I chase after love hard enough, I'm going to be his ride or die. I got him, he got me. Child, bye. You do something wrong, bye. But it's like, I thought that's how you date. Like, and then also this whole, okay, now, when you get out of high school and you get in the real world and you start dating men, I'm not talking about the boys that are your age, came out of high school like you. No, you start dating men. These are grown men.
Right, yeah.
The game changes. It's no longer, I like you. Oh, you like me too? Okay. No, it's kind of like, it's trickery here. You just lie all the time. We supposed to date like men do? How do they date? They date like, okay, I could do that too. It's just so messed up. It's like you date so badly and have no structure, no leadership, no anything, and you end up getting hurting other people.
Well,
If you're following God, I think you'll be fine.
Everybody don't have that issue, but
But
you
lot
can
of people,
always
to get to a husband or a wife, a lot of people will say dating was rough and they're glad to be out of it.
I feel like if you are following God, just like this article just said, I think you will be fine. Because you can always go to God and ask him, like, Lord, is this man for me?
Yes.
Like, I can you let me know?
Yeah.
And like,
and if he isn't, can you, lay out a way, put something in the way.
Yeah.
Allow me to escape his grasp.
He will tell you, I have done it before in my life. I have asked God, like, what about him?
Yeah.
Like, is this? And he will tell you. Yeah. Well, I don't know about everybody else, but
situation was what happened to
right.
you. Like,
well,
he
I mean,
for me.
He can tell you, because I know one situation he told me, and I was like, you better go.
You wanted that.
Sometimes we don't listen.
Yeah.
And
that's where the mistakes come.
Right. And then your heart can get broken or whatever. But I think if you are following God, you can just ask him and he'll tell you, But I mean, that's just my personal experience.
No, I think that's a lot of people. I mean, I've done that recently, like as I've gotten older, but
and also with dating well, like with us, we had so much teaching from
Yeah.
our parents.
Yeah.
We
We
have
did.
6
Yeah.
brothers. They told us
Yeah.
all the little tricks and all, you know.
Yeah.
So when I was in college, I wasn't per se a gullible, stupid.
Yeah.
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 Like you couldn't come with all this little stuff.
Oh, you so
and
The
try to
lines,
make me,
yeah.
you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't that crazy, you know.
Yeah.
So I think with your when you're growing up, if you have parents that
Yeah.
teach you
Yes.
on top of going to God during dating, I think that'll help. Because a lot of girls, you know.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of We Seek First podcast. You can find us on our blog at www.weseekfirst.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest at We Seek First. Again, thank you for your support and join us next time for a bit of encouragement as Christ encourages us.